Okay, anyway, this is what I want to tell you about. I wanted to make a documentary about, first of all, it became about finding analog synthesizers. Then it started to generalize just a little bit because I started to talk to other people about how to fix them, where to find them. They more play with them than I would like to collect them and fix them, sell some, and get different ones just to test them out so I know what they sound like. Because there's a lot of reviews on there that tell you what the synths do and what's inside of them. But I kind of need to actually, mess around with it for myself to know if I like it.
Well, see, that's what I think is going to be interesting, because everybody, you can have, for instance, like you can have a bicycle, and then everybody's going to like their bicycle, but everybody does something different with it. They'll ride it to work, they'll ride it for fun, they'll ride it for sport, they'll ride it for, their career. So I think it's neat too, for the fact of you get to talk with other people to figure out what they like to do with it. Like you like to collect them, you like to fix them. Other people like to play with them. They don't really matter. Sometimes they'll even probably use the cheaper of the synthesizers just to get different sounds.
Yeah, some people will turn it into a career too, making money off of them. I know I'm not going to get that far, so I just have fun with it.
Right.
Every step of the way, no matter what it is. Even the labor of fixing them is still a really good reward if I can end up fixing it in the end.
Well, I mean, it's something that you enjoy, and that's why I think it'll be really fun. And I think this will give you a chance to connect with more people.
I'm just trying to connect to as many people as I can before I start the actual documentary.
I think that's going to be the best part about it, though. Seriously, Sean, because I think you're going to be able to meet different people. And I mean, this could turn into something, it's your hobby now, but this could turn into more of a stronger hobby, especially when you have people that you get to meet. That's why I was talking about, we don't have to go fly out somewhere to meet these people, but if we meet them in LA or whatever, maybe we can even get some together.
Yeah.
Get some together to talk about it. They could show us what they have, stuff like that. And I'm willing to set stuff down and help you with it. Like, I want to. I think it's a really neat idea.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I think it should kind of revolve. It's up to you, but I have the idea of it revolving kind of around your story, kind of like you in general, and what the love that you have for it, because it's something you've always loved. Ever since I can remember, you've always had something to do with it.
Yeah.
You've always had you're always doing something musical wise. And I've never had that kind of love for it, or something like that, but you've always had.
Well, that's not true. You love making movies, and
Yeah.
you'll always love making movies. That's your thing.
I love playing the piano at times. I love playing the keyboard at times, but obviously it's like something that I like doing it, but I'm not going to continue to go through it because it doesn't keep my interest for so long. I get super tired with it for some reason. Like, I'll be playing, I'm just like exhausted. Like you're on it for hours. I'll be calling you, you're just blur, blur, blur on the phone.
Well, sometimes it's not blur, blur. Sometimes it's like, pa-toon, pa-toon,
yeah.
pa-toon.
And I'm just like, what are you doing, Sean? And I'm like, well,
I don't even tell him.
I was also thinking of you throughout sharing, like, the different, like, when you start explaining about some of the keyboards, you can share the ones that you've been able to play with and kind of categorize your favorite and the ones that you think are worth, the price.
Oh, we're on stop right now because it's red. But anyway, no, it constantly changes because I will do research on where to find one or how much one costs. 2 months later, maybe even 6 months later, that's all trash because it's different now. Where am I going to find it? Oh, it's in North Carolina now. Where am I going to find it? Hey, there's one in San Diego, but it's $7,000 more.
Yeah.
So I should have bought it in Indiana and paid $100 for shipping. But no, that's what's expected of any collector's item. But what I wanted to do here today is get other people's views on it. And what kind of gave me the idea for it was I had my my little flip camera. It looks like a cell phone, so I was taking it everywhere with me. and I was going through pawn shops and just checking them out, and I was like, wait a minute, I can make this into such a bigger scale of a video, of a documentary than what I'm doing right now. I can broaden it up a little bit, and not just about finding them currently, where to look for them, but also talk to other people and see how they use them. And if they would like to share, maybe they found some at a local shop nearby, because I know there's some shops that still like to collect them and repair them and sell them again. But I have made some good connections over the years, maybe about 5 or 6 people that I can get good advice from repairs to whether they'll last, whether they're worth it. But also I've talked to some people that have actually used real synthesizers from the 70s. When I say real, I mean, no computers in them and stuff like that. Like one of them that stands out is Arthur Nakane. We met him in Little Tokyo, remember that? And I was like, wow, we have to do something someday that involves this man in a documentary, because it was just, I could stand there for hours and just listen to what he has to say.
Dude, I mean, the man is like basically almost not a grandfather's age, but he's a lot older, and yet he keeps doing what he's doing. Like, keeps doing what he loves. And I mean, as Sean said, he's not somebody that you would stick a CD in your car and listen to. But it's like, that's not the point. The point is when you see him in person and you see how much like he loves what he's doing, it makes you love what he's doing. I mean, well,
yeah, that, and just to know who he is, makes it a very, very fun experience just to watch him. I mean, you're laughing, you're not really making fun of him. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
it's
weird.
Just, he's got this thing where he can entertain you because he's got all these things he's made by himself, some PVC things that hold some of his drums and his cymbals, and it's not a xylophone. I guess they're chimes that he can strum with the stick on the end of his guitar. One band thing. It's very entertaining.
He's got a drumstick taped to the end of his guitar. He uses his feet to play some
he's got bass pedals for his feet.
Bass pedals, and he's playing the guitar and hitting key notes with it, and it's like, it's the coolest thing.
Oh yeah, no, he has a drumstick hanging out at the end of his guitar like this, and then he has a pencil sticking out like this.
Oh, yeah.
And he uses the eraser on the pencil to hit the notes on the keys.
And then hit the cymbals with
the drumstick. And he's got strings attached to his strumming hand, so that when he strums, he's also pulling the tambourines. That man is amazing, and
it's like a chorus. It's like, what's your day job? Like,
his day job is awesome. I think he performs twice a day down there on the weekends, and it's
throughout the week he's making pencils.
Extremely, he's attaching pencils to his guitar. Is extremely entertaining person.
Yeah,
like,
he's really cool.
I don't even like regular concerts of musicians I'd like to listen to in my car. I don't even like to go see those people as much because they don't really put a smile to my face as much as that man does. Yeah. That was pretty awesome.
It's also the experience of being able to talk to him right when he's done.
Yeah, it's like
And instead of him being like he doesn't want to talk about it, he's worked hard all day. He's like wants to talk about it.
Yeah, he treats you really good.
Yeah.
So.
But that's
why I'm pretty sure he'll want to be in it. But I'm gonna ask him. I haven't asked him yet. I have to find his card and give him a call. But so far I've emailed about 6 or 7 people. Over half of those have replied with yes, they would be very interested in participating in the documentary. So I honestly, it does not matter to me which cameras they use, because some of them have YouTube accounts, and it doesn't matter to me what quality they are. I am going to see if any of them do have a microphone and they can make a separate audio track while they're recording, and that way...
That would be best.
That way at least the sound is good if they have a mic, and then the video can just be, whatever. And then we can cut back and forth between them and put labels and...
And for the ones in...
And I want to see if if some of the ones like Arthur, we need to get him, we need to get him actually performing, and then we can talk to him after. That's what I want to do. And the same with this girl that plays hip hop on her drums in Indonesia. I told her to perform on the 606, the TR-606 analog drum machine, and then send us an MP3, and I can mix that with it, so it can look like she's playing it. I mean, it's extremely hard to actually play an analog drum machine while, live, and there's interesting to hear what it sounds like.
There's got to be so many people too, or at least a good handful in LA that I think we could still look for and find. And those ones, I would just ask them if we could just meet up with them in person. We could just like literally say, hey, we'd like to film your home if you have all your synths at home, or if you like to go
visit some studios.
Yeah, if you like to go to a studio, if you like to specifically have a place where you like to play, whether it's at the park, in your garage, in your bathroom, I don't care. It's like we could just go and like if they'll let us record them play.
It gave me a small idea, as I already wanted to make the documentary. So what I did was I looked at a couple of documentaries on YouTube. One of them was the Moog documentary, filmed by Hans
Solo.
Not Han Solo. His name is Hans. It's probably, I don't remember his last name. Started with a Z maybe. But I bought that DVD a long time ago, and it actually really interested me just because of what it was about. Not about how they shot it, not about what the Moog guy was talking about. But I think it was around 2002. And then after that, I looked at another video on YouTube. It was about hackers, and it was really interesting. It was terrible quality, like VHS quality, and there was the lines going through every time they push record or something, but it was really interesting to watch. And it was an hour long. I skipped through at least half an hour of it, skipping to the good parts, and they had all kinds of communities, and it was amazing to see that all those hackers were really nice to each other, and they had little places to meet and gather. And that reminded me of about me talking to all these people, and so far about their studios and synths and wanting to share. And so far they've been really nice about it, especially the ones that are have YouTube channels, because they're used to making videos anyway.
That's what I'm saying is like this video should kind of it's you and about what you care for, and revolves around you meeting these people. But also the main point is the triangle of like connection that you're going to be able to have with the people. I think that's like the biggest thing is it's you, the synths, and the people. It's like that's it, and then everything else is just like fillers.
Yeah.
Your opinions will just come out of nowhere. This is what I realized, this is what I noticed. He showed me this, or I was talking to this person, they explained this to me, this is how I feel about it, kind of deal. It'd be neat.
The only thing that would really top it off is if we had some material ready and we had a place to do a small concert, maybe like an hour long, and we'd be able to cut to it and cut back to it every once in a while.
It'd be really cool.
That's what I saw in the Moog documentary. There was at least 4 concerts, and they were really, they weren't special in a sense that, oh wow, they're good musicians. It's just that their creativity with the synthesizer, them knowing how to use it, and it's like, wow, I never would have thought to do that with it,
Yeah.
It's like, I never would have thought to plug this module into this keyboard from the 80s, which really doesn't, it's not compatible. But they figured out a way, and the sound from it's like, you're not going to make that with a computer,
Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I was literally about to say is, hey, if we can get a certain amount kind of in this groove, and if they can play some live music, why not make something, throw something like that underground Game Boy concert thing?
That was actually pretty cool, and we both know that it wasn't the best. I admit that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best music, but it was very entertaining because of how they did it.
Yeah,
they did it on a little tiny Game Boy screen, and you think how long it would have taken him to do that. I have not Nano Loop. I have LSDJ, and I have some Game Boys with modded outputs and all that, and I kind of like gave up on it because it's very time consuming, and I guess my brain just doesn't fit with it very well.
Yeah.
I still like it. I like the sounds from them, and someday I'll sample them and use them. But I've more been leaning towards the Sandwich SID kit, which I just finished and painted. It's got the 2 chips from the Commodore, and there's 2 in it because it's stereo. But it sounds pretty good, and I'm gonna try and get that video up. It actually has my vocals in it, which you heard a while back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna edit those to where it's not too much of my vocals, but just a little bit. And we have 2 singers too, two female singers that I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind being in it, and we'll just have to find some other people. So mainly the purpose for this making a video is to see if we can, I guess you could say in a way, recruit some people that would like to volunteer, because we need some more people to help us. Not really, well, yes, help us, because without different people, it's not going to be that interesting of a video. It needs to be more than just us for an hour and 3 clips of people that have volunteered to do it. So
Well, that's the same with when it came to that Game Boy concert. It's honestly a bunch of people on Game Boys making these sounds, and honestly, I would probably never listen to that music ever again, only because it didn't, I didn't like him. I'm into a lot of like electronic music, but then again, like when it came to that,
some of it sounded like noise. I'll give you that.
It sounded like noise, but the thing that I really enjoyed was the fact that a lot of it sounded like noise, but there were still like 60 people in there.
Yeah.
And they were all dancing and punch dancing and just like sweating like crazy and just having fun. Like they loved it. And I was like, that was the really neat part. And it's not just one guy on the Game Boy. There was like 4 or 5 like artists, people there that would switch off
and there was a
plug
girl
in their
too.
Game Boy.
I like it because they're using a sound from a chip inside of a machine that I used to play with as a kid, as a toy. Yeah. And they're using it to create music with. Now, other people might like it just because, oh, wow, they make really, really fast music. Or other people might say, oh, it's because it's a Nintendo, man. I love anything Nintendo, and then like, that's why they're there. And then there were other people there that were learning. They wanted to learn how to mod stuff so that they would go and see what it sounded like for the first time. Yeah. And just a lot of stuff like that. And there's a shop in Pomona, and they've already agreed to do an interview. By the way, it's over by the Glass House in Pomona, and it's called the Noise Bug, I think, and very nice people. I haven't met them yet. I don't remember going inside the store. They've always been closed.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna buy some modules from there when I get some money coming in, because they've got some modules as low as $90, and you could just build it one by one, and you could have yourself a full modular synthesizer eventually.
Yeah.
But
no, it's honestly really neat just to see what people in general like can do with them, because sure you can have a Korg, let's just say, and then you can have, let's say, your laptop, and you can be making sounds from that. That's like your bread, and then whatever you put on your bread makes it different. Makes it different from everything else. That's why I think Tech One's really cool, because they're a group that does dubstep, but they do a lot of circuit bending stuff. They take old toys, circuit bend them into sounds, specific sounds that you would think that you can get from a computer, but they make these samples themselves. And like, for instance, another artist, Pogo, that guy literally just takes his camera with his mic, takes a bike, spins the crank around, and then walks and like drops a glass on the ground and then knocks on the door. He uses those 3 things, makes a beat out of it, and just makes an entire song, and then like chops different vocals.
Pogo uses Disney stuff, right?
Uses Disney stuff as well. And like I remember what he did was he sat his mom down in the garden, interviewed his mom of her digging like about plants and how she gardens, and he took that, chopped her vocals up, went out in the garden with like a little shovel and started like digging around the dirt, made a beat out of the dirt, and then used her sample things and made like a chorus with it. It was the coolest thing. Like
wow.
yeah, it's really cool.
I haven't heard that yet.
Toki Monster specifically lives in LA. That'd be really neat to get a hold of her and let her know what we're doing, and I'm sure we could probably get something out of it. Maybe she would want to sit down for an hour or something and just talk about how she did it, because I know she's got a very different sound too.
That'd be awesome.
It
first, like I said, it first started out with me and the flip in my car driving around holding the flip on the steering wheel while I'm complaining about, you know, how expensive all the ones that I do find are, and they're in, you know, like weird, terrible condition, because it's like, where did this come from? It's like a gold brick in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
And it's like, to have that gold brick, you have to die 4 times. It's like it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So it started out me wanting to find older, messed up synths so I could fix them up, try them out. If I didn't like them, I could sell them and keep going, or I could keep it and save up for something else. But now it's turned into all the people I've met and really wanting to see what their views on it are. I'll still have my my adventures of me going to find them. I'll probably put that in there first, but I really want to talk to some different people that actually enjoy using real instruments and have a lot more to you know, they just have a different opinion than just go, oh, it's electronic music. Yeah, there's a lot more than just 5 words in a sentence.
Yeah, and for some reason, just like the way I picture the entire documentary is, like, the entire thing kind of feels like a concert, like
there's music all the time.
There's music all the time. There's just different things.
Talking.
It's not real slow, and when like people do talk, you know, it's like juicy stuff from people who know what they're doing. And it's not just like, yeah, well, you know, when you take the circuit boards and you connect it to this, you get this sound that sounds like the Flux Pavilion, and it's great, you know.
Yeah, and then Flux Pavilion's over there like, oh, I made this song while I was on the phone with somebody. I'm like, oh, that's not right. I mean, he's cool. I give him respect. No hate there, but that's not even fair. Doesn't even try. Anyway, not talking about that.
Yeah, but no, that's like the way I pictured it is just kind of constant thing. Okay, we're gonna go to this shop now. We're gonna check this place out, and you're just like,
you know what?
No,
there's no shops anywhere. None.
Really?
There's the Noise Bug. That's the closest thing I could find to me.
Like a full shop with synths.
Yeah, like a shop, ridiculous. Like a store. Now there's this place in Austin, Texas. I haven't got a reply from him yet, but it looks like a really neat store. He's got a YouTube channel that I'll post in the links after this video, and you can check his store out. He'll do a tour of it every once in a while, and he's got some really neat stuff. And I just know if it was around me, I'd be in there at least once a week to see if he found anything, or I think he's a repair guy, and if he found anything broken that he'd like to fix up and just maybe didn't have time for it, didn't want to do it, you know, I'll take it off his hands, see if I can fix it up. If not, then I'll pass it on to somebody else. So I'm not into butchering the keyboards.
Yeah,
if I can fix it, I will. If it's too complicated, which I haven't run into that problem yet. I haven't, you know, had to rip out tons and tons of integrated circuits yet. Mostly it's been keyboard repairs, capacitor repairs, things like that, and it's come out okay. During the documentary, I'm going to go through, you know, my studio and show you some of the different ones I like, and one of the most rare ones I have, like I said, the Roland SH1000, but it's not super functional. It's just a collector's piece that sounds really neat, and there's not a whole lot that can replace it, you know. I don't have a whole lot of virtual analog keyboards, which is mostly just emulation, computer, newer synths like the Access Virus. They sound good, but there's so many features on it, I would never use At least if you have a Mini Moog and you got all those knobs on there, I've touched every single knob and had a reason for it.
Yeah.
And you can hear it when you turn it. I've turned knobs on that Axis Virus TI Snow that I had. I would turn the knob and it would be some weird function that is like, it's not atomizer, but it was something else. It was like granulizer or spaceizer or something like that. And you would turn spaceizer and it would just be like, and it was like such a subtle difference in tone. I was like, why did I pay $900 for this thing used again? So it's gone. I hated it. In short, we need your help. Anyone that wants to join, inbox me and I will. I'll give you a message back and we'll talk about it. And if anybody has any collections, even if you don't play instruments, just repair them. Just let me know also. Anybody that's interested.
As far as music goes as well, I mean, if you have any
performances.
Anything you want to contribute to it, as far as if you just want maybe your song to be played, you've used specific keyboards directly, maybe like some Mini Moogs or whatever that you've been able to keep and you've been able to make with, and you're just like, hey, I made this, just send it over, or let Sean know, message him, and we'll be able to see what we can do with it, or give a shout out to you.
All right, thanks for watching our the making of our documentary, and we'll let you know when it's finished. We'll post it up here. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.